Hi, this is Shara with Psychic Myst Paranormal, and I just recently moved. I've been at our new house for 2 months now, and the house I moved from had 3 resident ghosts. So this is my puppy Conda, and he's playing with some toys, and he makes some loud noise. So if you hear something while I'm talking, that's what you're hearing. I've done several of my YouTube videos with some of the ghosts in my house. But the new house that I moved into, it's about 66 years old, and it also has resident ghosts. The owners of the house, I think, built the house when they probably first got married, and they still live here. The first time I walked into the house, I could feel the extracurricular energy running around. I felt like I was being watched. It didn't feel like it was bad energy. If it did, I wouldn't have wanted to be here. But I knew there was somebody here. So when it was time for the inspection, of course, I brought my EVP recorders. I thought, let's see what's going on. This was really pretty funny because I had fully intended on doing like an EVP session to find out who was here and how they felt about someone moving into their house, but it didn't quite work out that way. The inspector was here, and it just seemed that everywhere I went, he went, and I thought it would be pretty funny to talk to nothing or ask questions of the walls. At least that's what he would think. So I did manage to ask one whole question. It was just too weird and awkward with the inspector here to ask more. So I just said, hey, you know what, leave me some messages. We're buying the house. I want to know how you feel about that. You know, let me know who you are and whatever else you want us to know. And then I just let the recorder run in a couple of different rooms that I kind of felt strong energy, so maybe some hot spots. And I did get, surprisingly, several messages. I didn't think I'd get that many. So there was really no questions asked, just messages. And when I listened to them, I'm thinking, I couldn't help but wonder, are they going to give us trouble? So I'm going to play those EVPs for you now. Can you tell me what year you were born? So that was the one question that I got to ask. The rest are just things that they left on my recorder. And for this one, well, January 1st, it wasn't a year, but at least they got a date. It's like, does he know I'm a ghost hunter? So that's enough. That's our rule. This is my house. It's kind of like, are we invading? Do you not like us already? Yeah, not good. And this next one proves that they do hear us and listen to us because it says Uncle Ronnie's. And Ronnie is my son. And my granddaughter, who would be the niece for Uncle Ronnie, was with us. And they must have heard her call him Uncle Ronnie. One's a little bit weird. I wasn't going to play it, but I decided to because there were words over my words, and it almost sounded like they were saying exactly what I was saying. Although, to be honest with you, I have no idea what I'm saying because with the combination of both of them, I just don't know. But they sound similar, and I thought it sounded cool, so I played it. Here you go. So with this one, you mind, shut your face. Not very nice, right? And why did she do this? I think that what they're talking about is the person who sold the house was their daughter. She was a real estate agent. And I'm thinking, why did she do this? Why did she sell our house? Why is she doing this to me? That's what I believe that this EVP is about. Not happy. So now you can understand why maybe, we thought, are we going to have to really, I guess, hold negotiations with these spirits because we need to live peacefully with each other. So I want to jump back a second to our old house that we just moved from. We were there 4 years and there were 3 resident ghosts, and we wanted to see how they felt about us moving, if they would miss us, if they were happy to get rid of us. When we first moved in, they were a little aggressive, especially the man. The other 2 were fine, but the man ghost just kind of came at us a little bit until we had a nice long talk with him and explained to him why we were there and how much we liked the house, and things worked out pretty good. So I was kind of expecting them to miss us or be like, no, we're great with you here, and some were, but we were kind of surprised at some of the answers. So Brielle and I decided to do an EVP session to talk with them and see what their feelings were. And these EVPs I'm about to play for you are what came out. So some of them were surprising, and some of them I guess weren't. Enjoy. We're moving, and we want to know how you feel about that. Don't forget to ask. Don't forget to ask. So it starts off nice. I want to talk to the spirits that live in this house. Are you available?
Is there anyone here with us at all?
Can you use this to talk with us? Yes, we're recording. I would really like to get your pictures so that we can always remember you. Is there any way you could come with us?
Would you want to?
How do you feel about us leaving? Okay, so things are going south now. Tiffany, are you here? I know you died in the house, but are you still in the house? So Tiffany was a young girl in her 20s who committed suicide, and she had a lot of problems, and she died in the house, and I actually communicated with her one night. She reached out to me, so you can watch. I have a YouTube video called Beyond the Grave. A suicide victim reaches out, and it's very interesting. Sad, but interesting. So check that out on my YouTube channel. I'll have the link in the description. I heard someone sound like they were crying the other day. Was that one of you guys? Will you be happy to see us leave? Can you stand next to Brielle? Do you care that we're leaving? Why is everything a pain? Why is everything a pain? 2 things I want to address with this EVP. First, not much, and don't leave us. So contradiction there. One for us, one not for us. Other one is make sure that thing's human. Who are they talking about? Me? Am I not human? Am I human? This might be like the last formal goodbye I could do with you. Does it matter? Are you looking forward to having other people move in here? Did you like any of the people that came to see the house today? Meter light up a different color? Are you guys alive? If you wanted to come with us, if you want us to stay, can you light up any of these meters? Do you think he was cute? The time we've been here with you guys. Alright, well thank you for talking to us. I appreciate it. I tried to get the ghost from our old house to pose for a couple of pictures. I used my SLS, I used my thermal camera, I used my infrared cameras. So I managed to get 2 pictures with my thermal camera. It kind of looks like the same picture, the spirit standing in the kitchen doorway. One's a closer shot, one's a further shot. It looks that way because it looks like the ghost just moved either forward or backward a little more, but here they are. So here's the first picture of the ghost. It's standing in the kitchen doorway, and I have it outlined so you could see it better too. And then this is the second picture. You see it, and then again with the outline, then again back to the picture without the outline, and the ghost looks like it's standing just a little bit closer than the one previous. And now jumping forward, about a week before we actually moved into the house, Brielle and I came here to do a formal, full-scale investigation of this house because we wanted to see what we might be in for. So let me get into that. Hi, this is Shara, Psychic Myst, Paranormal, and Brielle.
Hi.
And we're here at an investigation. What is the date today? August 28th, is it? It's a Saturday anyway. So, yeah, we're investigating this place, and we're the only 2 here, and it's kind of creepy, so we'll let you know how it goes. So, Brielle and I are trying to set up the equipment in one of the 2 hot spots in the house. This was the upstairs hallway. We're trying to set up some of the IR lights and some of the sensors that we're going to leave in the hallway, and then where the camera is showing a big bright light that's making different kinds of anomalies on the camera. We're going to be putting the camcorder behind that light, so it will not be doing that, but what you're seeing now is just us trying to get everything set up and ready. So you just saw the triboelectric sensor go off. I'll do a replay here. And now you can see the view through another full spectrum camera that we have set up in bedroom number 1 of hotspot number 1 that it's monitoring. And it was a couple minutes later I skipped through the time of the video. Our plasma sensor went off too. That goes off when it hears noise or footsteps. So you can see that here. And I will replay it again now. So I'm going to play this again for you in slow motion, frame by frame, since it happens so fast. So a little later in the evening, the bathroom light that is upstairs by the hotspot, we left that on, just a little light that was in there. And you can see here in this clip that it shut off by itself. About an hour into the investigation, we got a couple of really good snaps of a man and woman we believe to be the owner of the house. And we got these pictures with our full spectrum still camera. Check these out. So here's a picture of the lady of the house. On the left, you can see her. It's a full body apparition. However, she kind of blends in with the pink full spectrum background. So on the right, I have her outlined so you could see her better. And here's a picture of the man of the house. He's on the steps. And at first, it's a very hard picture to see. So the first outline picture is what I noticed first. He almost looked like the Rake here. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, An Evil Entity. But upon further inspection, you can see his legs. He looks like he's just a thin, older man. Brielle and I are doing an EVP session, and I have some really great EVPs coming up for you. Is there anything like buried in the walls or anything we need to know? Is there something in the floors? Any secrets in this house? Evil? Is there something evil in the house? Or are you just trying to scare us? Any women? How many? Are you dead? Are you happy? Are you the owners of this house? Can we live here together peacefully? Can you give me a message? What do you want me to know? Can you state your name, please? Do you have a message that you want me to give to your daughter? Do you want us to leave? Do you watch us when we're here? Hello? I guess we'll have to have it like that. How did you die? How many people are here with us? How many people are in this house? How many people used to live in this house with you? So at the next EVP, I get the answer before I even ask the question. And this can happen a lot of times. Ghosts seem to be able to read your mind sometimes. So that's a little scary, right? Do you like us? Is it hard for you to light up my meter? Is there anybody here with us? So where do we want these chairs? That is you, okay. What year were you born? So speaking of the Civil War, we also got an ITC picture that came out. It looks like a soldier. So check this one out. And speaking of ITC pictures, I have a couple more ITC pictures from this particular investigation that I'd like to show you. ITC pictures are ones that are elemental medium pictures that work with a combination of an element and technology. And it draws in energy from the atmosphere or from a person or a place, in this case the location, and it draws in the energy from that location and pulls in more energy of things that are attracted to it. And of course, you know, if the spirits are there, it can tell us some things about those spirits, show us pictures of them, they could give us messages through writing, and this is some of the pictures that we got, so check them out. So you just saw some water and elemental spirits, and that would make a lot of sense at the new house because the people here have so much landscaping and foliage and plants, flowers, everything all around the entire house. They love plants, and that's, like I said, these pictures would make sense that they would have elementals around. Well, the next picture is even cooler. It's a tree spirit. Check this out. So I got a picture of what looks like a man. He was captured with my full spectrum still camera. And then when I did the ITC session, I got 2 more pictures of the same man, and of course they look a little bit different because it's coming through an elemental medium. But you can see the resemblance, so I'm going to show these to you now. First you'll see the regular picture I got with my camera, and then you'll see the other 2 pictures from the ITC elemental session. So since this guy came out so many times, I decided to ask if he could identify himself, and this is what he said. I got a picture of a man with a mustache and a beard. Can you identify yourself? So that little clip that I showed you of me and Brielle doing the EVP session brought in something that said evil. It was spelled out while everything was going, and I don't really think there's anything evil here, but I do think that there's something off. Like I said, not evil. I just think that there's some type of either non-human entity that is not malevolent. So I'm going to show you some of that now. So the first picture I'm going to show you is something I got with my SLS camera upstairs in the hotspot. You can see it almost looks like an alien baby. It's a profile picture of some kind of being. Not really sure what it is. It's small. So check this one out. So here's the picture. I said it looks kind of like a profile alien baby. I outlined it so you could see it. This is the original picture. Then I put a negative filter in so you could see it from a different perspective. Also outlined it as well. And then the last one is the same picture, just in a different filter so you could see yet another perspective of it, and outlined. And of course back to the original picture of it. I don't know what it is, but it's little and strange. When we saw that picture, we were like, what is that? So it makes sense that when I did my ITC picture, is some of the creatures you saw came out, you know, tracks that kind of energy. And here's some more ITC pictures that are of either non-human entities, malevolent entities, or something along those lines. With my full spectrum camera, I got another picture of a non-human, strange-looking entity. Check that one out here. So the next 2 pictures are non-human entities. It's actually the same entity, frame 1 and frame 2. It was the very next frame that the entity was still there in a little bit different of a position. So here are those. And here is a picture of a mass-face being that came out. And for those of you who don't know what a mass-face being is, it's a race of malevolent entities that I had discovered about 7 years ago. And I won't really get into that more, but you can see some of the mass-face beings on my YouTube channel. And finally, there are a whole bunch of different shadow beings that came out, one being a black dragon. And I'm going to show you these beings now. I'll have titles on top of them to explain them. It's pretty interesting that you get shadow beings, and quite a few of them, as you just saw. And here's an EVP to go along with that. Can you give me a message? What do you want me to know? So maybe this was a message for me to look into more of what's going on with these shadow beings, non-human entities. So now I want to talk to you about Bob. I have no idea who Bob is, but Bob made a couple of appearances. He left me his name spelled out in the water element, and he also told me that he was answering my questions. So here are the EVPs and ITC to go with that. Can you identify who is giving me this information, please? Can you identify who is talking to me, please? Of course, no investigation would be complete without going around with your SLS camera. They're always the fun pictures, you know, the stick ghosts. And we got a few things to show you with that. Not just the stick ghosts, we did find them, but we also found a few other surprises in there too. Hey, this is another thing that will not hurt you. It's just, it's a funny looking camera. I will give you that. Do you think you can sit in those chairs for me? Sit down and make yourself comfortable? Hi. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's in space. Can you say hi? Can you raise your hand? Hi, how you doing? Oh, you're not there anymore? Okay. Was this your favorite bathroom, or did you like the one downstairs more? I feel like there's someone down there watching us. Like, really, like, it's not going to hurt if we see you. I'm going to go over there and shut the curtains. People looking in, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all these boxes, now they know. I'm going to do a quick thing. Go, bro. Oh, it was right in front of me.
It's there.
Can you wave? Are you the same one that was upstairs? If so, can you put your hand up? So you're different? So, are you the same person that was upstairs? Can you put your hand up if you were? Are you the man that lives here? Can you put your hand up if you're the man that lives here? Can you put your hand up if you want us to leave? Can you put your hand up if you want us to stay? Can you dance? All right, let me go to the other end real quick. So I do have two of yous. Are you Mr. and Mrs.? I just want to know, is it okay that we stay here with you guys? All right, well, thank you again. Oh, did you get that?
Yeah.
Thank you again. The SLS cameras do more than just capture ghosts and make them look like stick figures so that you can see them in real time, which is pretty cool in itself. But they also capture ghosts in a different way. Now, I haven't had this happen a whole lot, but I have had it happen many times. And in this case, it did. So I'm going to show you the pictures that I got from the SLS camera. The first one is a woman, and I'm going to show you her with the original picture and then with a couple of different filters applied so you could see her a little bit better. So here's an apparition of a female. We got that on the SLS camera. I labeled it on there so you might have seen her, but here you could see her a little bit better. She looks like she has her hands in front of her. She's wearing a deep V-cut dress, very long, and it poofs out at the bottom. It looks like she's got dark hair. Of course, I outlined it so you could see it better, as you just saw, and then I gave it a negative filter. It kind of pops it a little bit more, and then a different filter too, as you see here. And back to the original picture. And the next picture I'm going to show you is also with the SLS camera, and it was the man and the woman of the house together looking at me through the sliding glass doors of the sunroom. They were on the other side and they were looking directly at my camera, which means directly at me. So all that stuff was pretty cool, right? I mean, we got a lot of stuff and we learned a lot, and there's more to look into. So I figured that after living here for 2 months, I'd like to see how the ghosts feel about us living here with them, and anything else they might have to say to us. So I did a follow-up on that. I also thought it would be kind of cool to see what the ghosts from our old house feel and how they're doing now that 2 months has passed. They did spend some time alone in the house, and then, someone had just moved in, probably not even a week ago. So I wanted to check and see with them too. Now, there are ways to tap into another area to speak to the spirits or ghosts or whatever kind of entity dwells at that location. In this case, the 3 resident ghosts that live at our old house. But I used a new method. It's brand new. It was the first time I've ever tried it out. It worked decently. Obviously, I have a lot more work to do to try to get it to work even better. Like I said, this technique is brand new, but so far I'm calling it the copper portal technique, and I just wanted to let you know that because you'll hear that in the EVP. I wanted to see how the spirits felt about that, or the ghosts. And so, yeah, I don't know. The name of the technique is subject to change in the future. So, should I start with our old place and then go to our new place? Probably. Alright, so here are EVPs that I got from using the new technique from our old house. Enjoy. Are the spirits of 813 here with me now? So I'm taking that EVP to mean that they really wanted to talk to us or let us know what was going on, which would be nice. Can you say your name? Who's with me? So I know Ed. He lived there, but Naomi, I'm not really sure who she is. Did my copper portal technique get you here? Did you come out of the portal to the penny? See, everything I do with the spirits are voluntary. I'm not one of them people who, tell a spirit they have to do something. And believe me, there are other people out there who do that. And is that possible? Unfortunately. Do you like the new people that moved in? So this next EVP, I asked if it was quiet in the house. I just wanted to know if they were enjoying themselves now that we were leaving. But at least they did acknowledge that they knew we were moving out of the house. Is it quiet in the house now? What are you more attracted to? The portal, the mirror, or the copper penny? I guess someone did miss us if they felt left behind. That kind of makes me sad. Part 2. And now we will listen to the EVPs from the new place. Are the pictures of the man and the woman I got the old owners of this house? Can you tell me if you're okay with us living here now? Of course, it's only natural that I want to make sure that they are okay with us living in the house now, and this one said he does. I know the man was the one who said some of the things that kind of made us wonder, but they said he does. I'm not sure who answered for him. Maybe it was his wife, and maybe that meant we're making progress. Do you feel more comfortable with us now that we've been here for about 2 months? Do you have a message for me? Do you like Conda, my dog? How many people used to live in this house? I took a picture upstairs and I saw a woman. Can you identify who that is, please? And of course, with this EVP, I asked about, the woman we got a picture of that was upstairs, and we'll be asking Robin. I'm not really sure who Robin is. Maybe they didn't know who it was either, so they thought they had to ask Robin, whoever Robin is. It's a mystery woman or man, Robin. And as an added bonus, there's a couple ITC pictures for your viewing pleasure. And here are a few pictures I got using Perlin Noise. Perlin Noise is an extremely powerful algorithm, and when you add gradient, it can make and shape forms. Spirits can use this to show themselves. Usually their faces, sometimes their bodies or more. It's hard to get this to happen. Usually I don't get very many results with this because it is difficult to use and work with, but this time I did. So here they are. Not looking so happy. So that cute little doggy came out in the Perlin session, and of course it was validated with the word dog 3 times on the ITC session, and even the little outline of the doggy head with the ears and the little paw. It's cute. It really does pay to speak to the ghosts because they do listen, they do hear you. Maybe not all of them, but most of them do. In this case, it really paid off for us because one of the EVPs we got at the very, very end of the night let us know that I think they're okay with us now. They said that we can get along, and I'm going to play that for you now. So there you have it. Looks like we might have won them over a little bit. I mean, some things happen in the house. Sometimes we hear some voices. Sometimes the doors close or open. Sometimes there's a knock at the door and nobody's there. My dog is always playing with something that's not there quite often. And it seems like they interact more with him than they do with us. And their toilet's flushed a few times by itself. So just little things, really. But looks like things here are good. And I think that the ghosts at the other house will be okay. So now they have new people to haunt. And looks like things are good here. So it's a win-win. Thank you for joining me. This is Shar with Psychic Myst Paranormal Network. And have a great night.